worst dress I've ever done. Why? I never want to do this again. It's so frustrating. Why does it hurt so bad?
Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Hello everyone. Happy May. First of all, I have to show you my outfit because it's gorgeous. Yes. Isn't it cool? But it's May, and this month I'm doing the Celeste dress from Dressmaking Amour. It is a slip dress of sorts. It's very pretty. I got this absolutely gorgeous pattern. When I tell you, this pattern is like 50 shades of turquoise of blue. I'm not exaggerating, it literally changes color. Let me show you, let me just show you. So this is the fabric that I'm using for this dress. It's just shimmering, it's really pretty, and my favorite part is that it literally does this thing. You can see it like right there, right in the fold. It's like, it changes color. It's a shapeshifter. Anyways, let's get started.
So things started off fine. If anything, I would say things went perfectly at the beginning. I laid out my fabric. I pinned my pattern pieces on top. And then I cut them out. I then slapped both pieces of the back of the dress together to make the most delightful sandwich, and then I pinned it.
So I'm first gonna start by sewing the center back seam. Let's get started.
So it was at this point, as I was sewing the center seam, that I got a glimpse into the hellscape that would become my life for the next 12-ish hours. I noticed a glob of glitter on my needle, and not thinking anything of it, I just scraped it off and moved on with my short, pathetic life. Unknowingly, on the brink of catastrophe, I then trimmed my seam. And then I added fuel to the fire because I used an iron on my fabric. Heat with glue doesn't always mesh well, especially if you're sewing. So that was really my next mistake in descending deeper and deeper down into Satan's living room.
You ever know that question where it's like, who would you invite to dinner? Alive or dead, X, Y, and Z. I have to say, I would invite Princess Diana. I'm only saying this because today was the coronation of Charles, and I just like love Diana so much. I like have read so much about her, and my favorite anecdote that I want to pass on to you is that I guess that like back in the day, she would like get invited to Camilla, like Camilla's like families, you know, like parties and stuff, because like it was like a formality. She would be asked to go, but Charles would be like, oh, like don't. And so just as like things were getting really bad between her and Charles, Diana got like an invitation to Camilla's 50th, I think, or 60th, like some big party for Camilla. And I think her friend like asked her like cheekily, like, oh, like, are you gonna go and stuff? And then Diana said, I'm gonna jump out of the cake like naked, like. I literally thumbed through my Diana book. Look at all these sticky notes. To page 389, the prince made it known that he was to host Camilla's 50th birthday party at Highgrove in July 1997. Diana decided to make herself scarce. While she put on a brave face on the event, wouldn't it be funny if I suddenly came out of the birthday cake, she joked. I love you, Diana. Cancer queen.
And with that, everyone, it was at this moment I think that my dress heard me and heard me talking about Diana, because it literally became the revenge dress and not in the iconic way I wish it would have. Long story short, it was at this point that I folded the dress over to sew another side seam. And the thing is, I was sewing into pretty much 2 layers of glue. If there was an analogy for this situation, my needle would be like a flimsy, thin tortilla chip that God was shoving down into a 7-layer dip on a Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, there's literally adhesive getting stuck inside the hole of my needle, the eye of it. I've been through 2 needles and I can't get my thread through because it's like glue. Okay, oh, thank God. I was worried for a minute there. This is a PSA to anyone who is new to sewing, who is looking to sew with a glitter fabric, with a sequined fabric. There is glue within these fabrics. Not only does it clog your machine, but it's going to get stuck on your needle. It's gonna get stuck on your presser foot. It's going to jam your machine. Literally, I have like this shot glass of a boot and my needles are just in there with soap, like just having the glue come out. Glitter fabric, I swear to God, it is like, you know, I was so charmed by it in the store. I was like, I need to have this. It's so pretty. It's, you know, everything I need in my life. And then I bought it and took it home. And then I was like, you're crazy. Like, you are just like insane. You are not what I thought you were. And that is literally what it is like to date in New York City.
On that lovely note, I basically spent the next day, you know, roughly 13 hours of my life that I'll never get back. I would start with a new needle, one of 6 that I was cycling through baths of acetone. I would take this needle, douse it in beeswax to help lubricate it. I would then sew for roughly 46 seconds, 47 seconds on average, to which then normally my thread would snap, so I would then pick out glitter glue with a pin from the eye of the needle. After that, I would sew for then, you know, another 50 seconds if I was lucky, at which point there would just be too much glue. So then I would take the needle out, recycle it, get a new one, and start this process over and over and over and over again. This glue, like, had taken everything from me, you know, like it left me with nothing in the divorce. I lost the kids, I lost the house, like it was horrendous.
Okay, please God. Why does it hurt so bad? I just need a snack. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm using beeswax. And I'm using beeswax specifically from the Savannah Bee Company in Savannah, Georgia, because I went to Savannah, Georgia with my best friend in the entire world. Hey, Julianne, shout outs. But we went to Savannah, and let me tell you, that was the craziest trip of my life. Savannah is very old, and there's a lot of history and like a lot of just like spooky things for all the wrong reasons. Like, we had just such weird luck. That's a sign, literally, that siren. That was spooky. Okay, so like just going to Savannah, we had so many problems. Like the airport, there were some issues. You know, our Uber, we got in, it's like 11 a.m. He's like, oh, I haven't been drinking, by the way. Okay. And the best part is like we finally get to the hotel, and so we're walking and it's like bright, sunny, and we're kind of finally taking a deep breath in our trip of like, okay, like we can breathe. And I turn, you know, and I look kind of up ahead, and there's like this woman on the ground, and this man is like cradling her. And I was just like, oh, like that's really nice. Like she must have fainted because of the heat in the south, like, and this man is like helping her come to. Like that's just really, it's really nice to see people looking out for each other. And then I hear, Jesus Christ, I hate that name. Get out of this woman, Jesus. He was performing an exorcism. Yes, you heard me, An exorcism. She starts vomiting, and then it starts pouring rain.
So speaking of an exorcism, let's go back to the one that I was performing on this dress. I wish I could tell you what I did with the dress. I remember filming it, but was I really there? No. I had entered like fight or flight response. I was in survival mode. So yeah, I pretty much sewed the rest of it, and here's how it turned out.
Family, fans, folks at home. I don't even know where to start, honestly. I feel like this dress like sucked the life out of me. Like, I'm a cow, my udder was sucked dry, like crusted. I can't do this anymore. I feel like this dress was like a toxic relationship. It was like an ex-boyfriend. I'm like, this dress should be named Nick. This dress should be named Javier. I feel like this dress is the dress that would have gotten me sent home if I was on America's Next Top Model. Like, this fabric was a nightmare to work with, and I think that like even just having a dress itself is a miracle. I almost said a bad word. I could not make it well with this fabric. Like, there was no shot in hell that I had to sew it perfectly, and I know that there's so many issues with it. I don't even want to point them out. I do, you know, the color change is there, which I really appreciate. Like, at least that's one thing that's been consistent. I don't know if anyone knows this, but I'm about to impart some very significant wisdom into your brain. But did you know that in the Clue board game, Mrs. Peacock is the mother of Miss Scarlet? Like, what? Apparently in like the original storyline, that's the case. But I feel like Miss Peacock, when she was younger, she would have worn this dress. I want to be in a murder mystery so goddamn badly. I'll do anything, even murder someone. No, I'm kidding, I swear to God.
So that is the end of this video, everyone. Unfortunately, I did not film an outro, which is entirely on brand for this video. But thanks for watching, and I will see you all very soon.